it would be interesting to share what the idea behind the blog was and what the sharing of uncertainty meant and what this sort of blog was trying to create.
Yeah, I hope the blog kind of gives lots of sort of data and thoughts and evidence about what might be possible for us as we develop from the current situation we're in. And it struck me, and has struck me, since I did a work called Stamping Uncertainty in, I think, the 90s, that I quite liked uncertainty. And I don't mean uncertainty where, it's really, really terrible uncertainty. I mean uncertainty that isn't binary. I think one of the things I've come across or experienced or felt really for the last decade or so is a kind of situation where people are either for this or for that. That there's very little reflection, really, perhaps, on the other person's view, or kind of a sense that we are polarizing ourselves without really thinking and developing uncertainty that way. I mean, there are certain things that I'm absolutely certain about that, that certainly my uncertainty that I enjoy would be if I'm doing a growing project, which I do at least 1 or 2 a year, and I'm starting from seed. I am uncertain about whether this plant or these trees or whatever it is I'm working with will grow. And I really love that uncertainty, because that uncertainty connects me to the natural ecologies of our Earth. So that's the real uncertainty that I'm talking about. But I think that uncertainty has a sort of connection a little bit to our own society at the moment, where if you take something like Facebook, which, I'm not knocking technology because I think it's remarkable and brilliant, but if you take something like Facebook, I'm fed exactly what the robots that run Facebook think I want to see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't
it's quite crazy, isn't it? Sometimes because your phone's now listening to you, and you could talk about cats, and suddenly you get ads of cats everywhere and cat food and things like that.
I know. So what it's doing is it's compounding what it thinks I want.
Or who you are, really, because it profiles you.
Yeah,
and knowing everything about you.
Yeah, and perhaps to develop beyond everything about me to learn and get more knowledge, I just need to hear things that I don't agree with.
Or see things that you didn't think would happen, or you need the room. I guess uncertainty gives you the chance to not know who you might be tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think I do believe in hearing as many different voices as possible. But because that can help me, I think one of our purposes, I don't know that humans have any purpose really, but one of our needs is to learn. And I think the more voices you can hear, the more you might learn. Well, Common Values was a kind of off-site work from my show at Nottingham Contemporary called Ecologies of Value. And what was exciting about it was that it was a work that wasn't in the galleries, so to speak. It was installed in Broadmarsh Shopping Centre. It's a 50-metre piece, and the technicians at Nottingham Contemporary are remarkable. And between them and the security people at Broadmarsh, we put up the 50-meter Riddler's jacket, which is authentic to the, I think it's 1952 drawing, first time the Riddler was drawn. And we cut question marks off it and exchanged the question mark for a short interview or a comment about what people valued. What was extraordinary about the whole day was, the place it was at, but also what I expected would be a lot of common values about shopping, because we were in the shopping centre, and you know, I thought, and it was none of that. It was predominantly remembering because I did an analysis of the whole thing. By and large, the biggest block of common values were family members, which you would kind of expect. And it went on and on through different proportions of common values. One of them was arts, and that was quite high up in the list, and we were quite surprised at that. But that might be because it was an artwork that people were responding to and looking at.
So like creates the stimulus.
Yeah, but what was really significant, and I've had this with similar projects that I've done about looking at what it is we want and what it is we think we're being told we want. So I was not so surprised that things like money, wealth, was not high in the proportion of things that people valued.
Yeah.
It was quite extraordinary, really. I mean, I think it was something like, and this is from memory, so it could be wrong, something like 2%, even less than that. Enterprise, science was quite high. People seem to value creativity, which they interpreted quite often as enterprise. So that was quite an interesting snapshot as well of what people valued.
There's a really interesting line that because I'm scrolling up and down it, and it says, air, no one can live without air, the air we breathe.
Yeah.
And then goes on to feelings and emotions, inner happiness in my soul, food, playing with dogs and cats, books, happiness, freedom. And you see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's these little things. I think during lockdown, I was doing some essays for the Icon Gallery show, the Dear Nature show, and so I was doing a daily walk anyway, but I would take stuff from that walk. One of the things I noticed on that walk was because families were all at home, they were on the streets, and I have to say the care that I saw from these families with their young toddlers often doing their daily exercise on the streets was remarkably moving. And it struck me then that it's these little things that are at the core of our values, really, in a sense. They are things we kind of bring into our daily routines. And when they're taken away, we are hurt. You know, it's kind of how it happens. So, yeah, Common Values was one of those projects that did try to get a snapshot of what we might value. Given that the show was called Ecologies of Value, it was really about the possibility of a sort of social ecology that is not as complex or as wonderful or as amazing as natural ecologies, but could be connected to it in some way.